Hi everyone, it's Gillian back. This is my completed project at last for Lindsey Zenor of Nevermore Creations 17 on Etsy. I took this Pretty in Purple kit in April but didn't get round to having the time to complete it, which is why it's now May and I've just done it. It's a real different one than my previous journals. I've made it using box cardboard, delivery box cardboard for the front and back and spine. I had intended to do Coptic stitching for the first time, but I'd ordered cream paper for printing paper for this kit and I've been disappointed in it. I've found that it's much thinner than I expected it to be. So here it is. As I say, the kit's by Lindsey Zenor. I've only really added some bits of vintage music paper, a little bit of serviette decoupaged on, and a little bit of stamping. So other than that, is pretty much as the kit comes. So opening in the inside cover, I've applied an envelope, a decorated envelope to the cover. The opening for the envelope is a printed out, that's the other thing that I have added, is a few elements from Pixel Scrapper. They do, depending on your membership, you can have 5 a day of their little images for commercial use as well as personal use, and depending on your membership, different amounts of kits etc. for commercial use. So yeah, I printed off the heart-shaped button and then added some glossy accents on it to make it look more buttony. So that opens. So you've got place to put any documents inside there. There's also space behind the envelope, and then there's a pocket here where this little booklet was, just a little booklet for notes, and also a tuck spot behind. All of the pages are Lindsey's. I've done some inking, so I put a doily underneath and just inked to add a little bit of interest. This is one of my doily envelopes I shared on a couple of the junk journal. I'm sorry, this camera is slipping around all over the place today. On a couple of the junk journal Facebook pages about folding just paper napkins into envelopes, and there I've decoupaged some serviette on front and back. I've gone around the edges. Everything in here, if it's inked, is inked with purple because it just goes, and I love purple. And that's just attached. There is more that could be done with this. There's no doubt there could be decorated paper clips if I'd have had time, but I haven't had time. I've used one of Lindsey's tags as a pocket there. The lace I bought for this project very cheaply from eBay. I wanted to edge quite a lot of the pages, and this nylon lace is very cheap there. I wouldn't use it on sewing for clothing or any other sort of special sewing, but it's brilliant for using in junk journals. Another one of Lindsey's pages just as is. I've frilled some of the lace edges. I like that effect. Little bit of handmade paper that I had already that I thought looked nice. On top of Lindsey's page there, I printed, this is another element from Pixel Scrappers. I've got a page from a dream journal there, because the cream goes with the cream paper that I bought. I'm really pleased with the colour of the cream printing paper, but I'm not pleased with the quality. So I won't use it again as actual pages in journals. I'll use better quality. But you learn as you go along. Another one of Lindsay's pages. These ones, some of them, I've machined together, so there's a side pocket. I'm not going to open every one, but to show you what's there, I've then made on index cards, I've added little tags, and then slip them into the pocket. So there's lots of journaling space there, and it also marks your page for whatever you want to put in there, really. Another page just printed up with doily inked over it, another one of those double pages. This pretty paper is scrapbook paper that I've printed out again from Pixel Scrappers. I printed out a bow, and because this paper is thin, I then mounted it onto a bit of card to make it a really strong pocket, and that's a couple of Lindsay's tags popped behind there. I've inked all of these on the back because I don't like the stark white. Beautiful page with the lilies. I think they're lilies. Yes, I'm sure they are. And that's the back of the other page. Another little insert using a doily. This time I've glued the doily onto the page. I've folded it, glued it onto the page, glued some writing space, a card inside it, and then that folds. I quite like the effect of that. Just butterfly stamping. I added a butterfly on a stamp to Lindsay's page here, just for some interest. Very heavily inked page there rather than leave it blank. Some writing paper. This tag I've sewn the tag. I've sewn lace onto the side and some sparkles, and then sewn the tag onto a little organza bag, and then that's paper clipped on. Now I really struggled with making the actual, because I made the actual book, because I made the covers separately, totally embellished them before I realised I couldn't try Coptic stitch because of the thin paper. So then I had lots of calculations, how could I do a hidden binding there instead, because I do really love the covers and how they've come up, and I'm not very experienced at that, so I've got a much bigger centre than I would normally want. I've put a little booklet in there for now, and I've made a bookmark as well. But it could be a nice place to put a filled bag or another notebook that you can then take out and use. Lindsay's paper, and then with my inking, Lindsay's paper. Went mad with the inking, did lots on a couple of doilies and then glued them on the page for prettiness. Lindsay's paper. Another one of the pockets with the tabs on the card inside. This one I've just put lace on the back of one of my envelopes and decoupage the front there. So the back of the envelope, well, or the front, whichever way you look at it, is quite plain. It's just got some tea-dye paper inside for using notes. But again, that could be much more heavily decorated if I had time, which I don't at the moment. But then I think that's some of the fun with some of these journals. Don't do everything all at once. This was another element from Pixel Scrappers that I've printed out, mounted on cards. So there's another tuck spot there, which is really nice. Lindsey's paper, Lindsey's paper. I've made a tuck spot there out of one of her tags, some of the paper behind, a tag there. I was trying to get this done in 10 minutes. It's surprising how fast time goes when you're doing these videos. And then another one of her corners I've put mounted onto a folded doily, making the pocket like that. And then lastly at the back, another envelope with it's kind of a diamondy element that I've made shiny with glossy accents, and that opens with plenty of space for things to be tucked. And on the back, another one of her sheets, some doily and bits to embellish. So the cover is 2 pieces of card glued together, and you can't really see it on the video, I don't think, but it gives some definition to those covers. So my May project, design team project for Nevermore Creations completed. Bye for now, folks.